Look me up on Google, search the classics, you crazy bastard. Hold me up and pull me down. It's a battle royale in the eye of the storm. Drowning in the shallows when the path is getting narrow. I'ma ride it out on this broken arrow. Fuck it. Hold me up.
Welcome to Unfiltered Idiots,
where we chat shit about real shit,
talk shit about those not giving a shit,
wondering and complaining why they ain't got shit. Here we are, ladies and gents, season 2.
Oh my goodness.
Episode uno. Back in the fold here. I was gone on vacay, little Vegas vacay. Then my wife got COVID, so it's been a couple of weeks. But here we are again. Once again, what we always do, introduce ourselves. Kenny, tell them about yourself.
What's up, guys? Kenny from Aurora, Colorado. I have 2 children, and I'm very excited about getting season 2 started.
Yeah.
As you've seen in the recaps, we're going to start inserting videos of things that we're talking about, so I'm really excited about that. And we're now in our Unfiltered Idiots studio, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. Tell me who you are, Wes.
All right, man. I'm Wes, a.k.a. Metro. Again, also 2 kiddos, both of us Southeast Aurora boys. I'm in Centennial. He's still in Southeast Aurora. But yeah, man, also extremely excited as well. We're going to try to get some guests on here. We're going to start offering some people to come jump on the podcast, get some different views.
Yeah.
And so anybody out there, we'll put the word out. We'll put the word out on like some Insta, some Facebook, some socials on the Twitter. Put a little tweet out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and we're gonna try to really get some different perspectives out here and try to really get, like we said, we want to get this to grow. We want to get information to people. We want to get, we want to try to do our due diligence to get out, good, healthy, positive, if we can, right? But truthful information.
Yeah. So another thing that I wanted to kind of talk about is we've kind of changed up the format of Unfiltered Idiots. Yeah. So instead of filming like an hour segment, we're going to kind of get it down to about 30 minutes or so, because we all know that some of you out there have some short attention spans.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna get those down to 30 minutes. But in those, again, like I said, we're gonna be putting in videos and inserting videos of what we're going to be talking about. And I'm really excited about it. We have new equipment, like I've talked about, better mics, better cameras, better everything. So please interact with us on these videos. We want this to be an interactive process. We want to hear your thoughts, and I've heard a lot of feedback from people over the last couple of weeks. So I really do appreciate the people that have reached out to me personally. But yeah, we're gonna be doing extensive research, all kinds of stuff on season 2.
Yeah, and so that's why we want to really, like I said, we want to kind of get hyper focused on specific things that happened, and not try to have so much all in one show, just because we get it. Like you said, the attention spans. A lot of people have a attention span of a gnat, and it's like, and that's part of y'all's problem. No offense, but you guys need to do more where you're research reading, do more where you're doing your own investigations, and guess what? Your brain is going to work at a higher rate as well, and be able to get more, intertwined with what's going on and understand like how people are manipulating you, how and that's not just like news wise, we're just talking like in life. Like you could be manipulated because you're just not challenging your brain on a day-to-day.
Well, I think it's important that you challenge your brain each and every day, and that you're challenging your brain not only with the facts but also the non-truths, right? So you're looking at both sides, and you're kind of going down and seeing what's actually factual and what's actually bullshit.
Yeah.
I think that's very important.
There's a lot of that out there, and like we talk about all the time, like the wealthiest of the wealthy are going to use every avenue that they can. For example, a little quick tangent, but this week I saw how some of these wealthy investors were complaining about Joe Biden's up and coming potential capital gains tax increase. Well, number one, I believe the capital gains tax right now is at 20%, right? If you're making over, if you make over, I think it's 250,000, your income tax is, I think, is at 32%, something like that. It might even be up to 35.
Okay.
So they're all losing their minds, right? Like, oh, I'm never going to invest because I got to pay higher taxes. Warren Buffett came out and said, flat out, this was years ago, but quote's still great today, where he said, if you're complaining about a capital gains tax increase, that you're no longer going to be investing, that you were never an investor in the first place.
Right.
There it is.
Yeah,
he's letting you know.
Yeah, especially
You're
with
full of
capital
shit.
and more, yeah.
If you make $1 billion and have to pay,
he understands what he's talking
yeah.
about. You know,
if you made or whatever, $1 million this year off of capital gains, right? And you had to pay $350,000 in taxes.
Sure.
You're still making $750,000. You're not going to just go, I'm no longer going to want to make that $750,000.
So I just don't understand kind of where the notion, or like when you invest now, it's like I shouldn't pay taxes. Like, where did this become normal and the normal thing, right? Like, why is that? Like, you're gonna have to pay taxes. As long as Joe Biden is in the office, he's going to hold you accountable for paying those taxes.
And so should any president.
Well, exactly. It just, I think it's, I'm gonna piggyback off what you just said. I just think it's weird that people aren't thinking that they should be responsible for paying taxes on a large amount of money.
Yeah, what it is like, I mean, why don't we start asking them like, oh, so you guys don't give two rat shits about parks being built, about school systems being, and the answer is no, They don't care, because their neighborhoods already have everything set up all fancy and nice, so they don't care. Yeah. So like, the answer to that question is no. They'll go on their little CNBCs and their little, and go, oh my God, we care about it. No, they do not. Yeah. They live in gated community. And when we talk about gated, guys, understand like these are ridiculous communities. Like I have a cousin, his mom and dad and him all went to Harvard, love him to death, just saying like they're gated community. Like we have one here, Cherry Hills, Castle Pine, but these are gated. Yeah. Like you can't even get in there, and it's just like they live on a golf course. There are people that have their own hole, like their own holes, right? Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's their own holes. Yeah, like I live on the ninth hole or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I'm talking like they live on a course, and then they have enough property that they have their own hole where they can literally tee off out of their backyard. And one of the guys was coming back, and it was like his own holes, like a little par 3 and a par 3 just to practice on. And I'm like, dude, I'd be happy to have like a lot of people like if I had like a chipping area in my backyard, I'm like, wow, I've made
I don't know, you got a pretty big backyard.
I do, but
you got a pretty big house too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
don't let Wes fool you. Okay?
I'd be happy if I
got a big ass house. Okay,
but like you said, we work hard, man. You got a beautiful home too, like,
thank you.
But we work hard, but like we would be baroque jokes if they came and saw what we have. Yeah, they would be like, oh my God.
Like laughable.
This is like a shed.
Yeah, like ew.
And then you wonder why they're like trying to use every avenue to not pay capital gains tax. So, but anyway, what we want to talk about the most today, guys, and really kind of get into that was that, we want to really talk about obviously the shootings that have happened. And I know Kenny did some wonderful updates to that. And I wanted to shed some light onto it too. But we want to talk about the specific videos. And so, all the way down to even the couple ones where we saw, the Army drill sergeant going after that younger, thinner black dude. And then there was the other one too as well, where you had, my goodness, I just drew a blank, but that was a pretty crazy one. There's another drill sergeant, from the same
so base. It was Pentland and the other guy, the other black guy that was had window tint or an expired.
Well, there's another one that happened where there's another drill sergeant from the same base. Now he's no longer with.
Oh you showed me that one.
Yes, that was losing his mind and calling all these, and he said and you could tell he was trying everything he could do to not drop the M-bomb.
So
and he's at a liquor store or at a restaurant, and they said you're no longer gonna be able to be served. He's hammered.
So we're gonna show you.
Yeah, we'll show you that video.
Well, actually, we'll show that to you right now.
All lives fucking matter. Black lives don't fucking matter. All lives matter. Okay, because fucking Black Lives Matter. Take this on your fucking recording.
Oh, this is being recorded, all right. That is former U.S. Army Drill Sergeant John Miles. He is drunk. And clerks at the South Carolina grocery store are refusing to sell him and his girlfriend more alcohol.
Black Lives Matter is the most racist fucking thing we've ever fucking seen. Alright? All lives matter. All lives fucking matter. That's how it is.
And how it is on this Friday night is that Miles, age 27, is trespassing and disturbing the peace.
What about goddamn brown lives matter? What about white lives matter? How about everybody else? Guess what? All of you black fucks are goddamn racist motherfuckers.
The bigotry and profanity went on for a few minutes.
All of you black fucks. Hey, guess what? I got a goddamn black kid in goddamn Georgia. I'm not a racist motherfucker.
Yes, he said he's not a racist because he fathered a black child. Hello, everybody. I'm David Schuster, and thanks for joining us. According to John Walter Miles' LinkedIn profile, he began working in December 2018 as a drill sergeant leader at the Drill Sergeant Association in Elgin, South Carolina. The association provides support for former and current drill sergeants, particularly those who have served at the nearby Fort Jackson Army base. Authorities at the base say they are aware of this video and that this type of behavior is not consistent with our Army values and will not be condoned. They added that Miles was already out of the Army at the time of the incident. According to a police report, when authorities arrived on the scene of the Food Lion grocery store, Miles acknowledged he had used racial slurs. The officer said they asked him to leave the premises, but that the former Army sergeant initially refused to depart with his girlfriend and her mother. Eventually, the officers say they escorted Miles off the property and said he was under the influence of alcohol. The incident report does not elaborate on how they escorted him away. A week later, after the video began to circulate on social media, Miles was formally charged and voluntarily turned himself in. He was booked at the Sumter County Sheriff's Office Detention Center and then released on house arrest with a $15,000 bond. He has a court hearing in late May. This was the second racist episode this month involving a current or former Army Fort Jackson Army sergeant. In mid-April, Jonathan Pentland, while off duty at home, shoved a young black man and said he didn't belong in this South Carolina neighborhood.
You're aggressive on their neighborhood.
Someone came running.
You better walk away. You walk away.
Pentland has been charged with assault. The irony in both cases is that a U.S. Army sergeant has interacted with a wider variety of ethnicities than most people in America. The Army is one of the most integrated institutions we have, and by all accounts, a drill sergeant at Fort Jackson works with African Americans every day. Nonetheless, Jonathan Miles' drunk and racist tirade has prompted some strong reactions on social media.
Black lives don't fucking matter.
Well, TikTok, it's like I always say, the devil works hard, but we work harder. And if you're wondering why he did that little racist rant, it's because he was denied alcohol because he was too drunk.
So, what will the U.S. Army Drill Sergeant Association do about John Walter Miles? Well, hopefully, they will fire him, and maybe the girlfriend will dump him too. This disgusting guy is trouble.
All right, and then the next thing we want to talk about is how that person could think that that's okay to do, right? Like, what do you think his mindset is if he can think he can sit there? He's an Army drill sergeant.
Yeah.
He's sitting there saying to all these people in the restaurant, he's going, "Oh, you black motherfucker," and like, you could tell he paused. He wanted to say the N-word, which he probably says at home in private. His girlfriend's trying to push him out, right? Yeah. You saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? Like,
I honestly can say this to you, and it's so simple to me. Trump gave people the license to act ignorant as hell, and now people are acting ignorant as hell, and they don't care about their futures or their work because that's been okay for the last 4 years,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So we're just having a little bit of a trickle over. And another thing too is everyone has their phones out now.
yeah.
Everyone has their phones.
And he's sitting
out.
there saying that. Oh, you can record me.
It's so,
like trying to be all.
You know, and obviously he was drunk as hell,
Yeah.
right? He was so drunk, and his girlfriend or whoever was pulling him away. And the audacity of him to just think that he could just. I mean, this is a guy that, in the military.
Army drill sergeant.
An Army drill sergeant. This is a guy that interacts with black people more than any other job in the world, right?
Yep.
The U.S. military, it's just so integrated with, different races, especially on the drill sergeant side of things. And
thank the stars for
Yeah,
that, because
yeah,
guess
thank the
what?
stars.
What's going to
Absolutely.
slowly start to happen, that those young men and women, people of color, and the more like, dude, this not the tangent, but like the biracial side of things, that like people mix. I love it. Like there's a side of me that's just like, please, because we got it. Like we gotta take
even
that
him,
thermometer out.
he screamed
Oh, yeah,
that he had a
he
black
black
baby
kid, yeah.
like that. That gives you
But
the
notice
license.
in Georgia. Notice
Yeah.
in Georgia. So
Yeah.
you taking care of it?
I'm just okay. Listen, okay. I want all of our listeners and viewers to understand that if you have a black baby, that does not mean that gives you a license to be racist.
Yeah. But also, also like I was saying, like me and Gina, my wife, like
Don't forget to subscribe.
I mean, that was my like trying to find some sort of like way to show that he's still full of shit. But he's like, oh, I have a black child, and he's in Georgia, and I'm like, well, you live in South Carolina, bro. So like, what, you're not taking care of your kid? I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't want to call him out for that. I don't know, but like you said, that doesn't mean that at all.
It doesn't give you a license to be racist. It doesn't give you a license to say whatever you want. And frankly, I'm just really sick and tired of it. Like, as a black man, me going out into this world feels different, right? It feels different, and it shouldn't feel different, especially, like what I often ask myself, what the hell happened? Like, how did we get to this
You hit it kind of on the head. Like, there was this sleeping giant, about 30% of this country, and there's definitely some Democrats too. It's not just all Republican, but the vast majority of those people tend to identify Republican, right, libertarian, some sort of more on the right side of the aisle, if you will, are racist. And sure, there's probably 5 to 10% that are extremely racist, and there's another 10% that are like moderately racist, and there's other ones that are kind of like mildly racist, but they're still racist.
Right.
And then we have another like 10% in there, that 30 to 40%, who are probably like easily, like we've always talked about, that little rope yanks them over. And if this friend of theirs or that friend of theirs is like sitting there going, bah, 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 they are like, right?
Cool. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to share the same bullshit on Facebook that you share, because I'm so impressionable
with it. I'm not racist.
But I'm not racist.
But you are. So
God, I wish we could get into that.
I know that. So that's really like our take, guys, on that one. There's been obviously so many that happened, and like I said, Kenny did such a great update on a few of them. But the one that really bothered me as well, probably they all bothered the hell out of me. But first, obviously the 13-year-old boy that was shot in Chicago, that was tough.
Yeah.
That one's been tough. He was definitely unarmed and his hands were up. It should have never been shot. But the army, the other one that was another army where he was pulled over, that was I just felt that was so egregious.
That one got to me. Like, that
egregious.
one, I was like, I have to get on here and do updates. Like, I just felt for him. Like, I just felt so sad in my heart for him.
Hands out the window.
Dude is in full uniform, and the cop is just like, doesn't even care.
I mean, like, what else are you supposed to do? Like,
but there were also reports that young man, also his uncle, was involved in an officer's shooting as well. So he was a little nervous about the police situation. So I get where he's coming from. It was disgusting.
I mean, I'll ask my buddy Patrick, just because I don't know if I want to like put this out without his, it's public, but I would ask him only because he's a good friend of mine. But his father, this was a few years ago, was shot running away, and I told you about this story, and in Utah, and I would love to show you guys this video. I'll get Patrick's permission if he's cool with it. I'm not trying to necessarily just go back, but it's just explaining that, like, these circumstances, right? If this was happening, I'm not saying it's okay if it was happening ever, but like, if there was like, one white guy, one black guy, one white girl, one black girl, whatever, right? Like, fairly well equally, once a year, there's a cop who effed up, right? There's a cop who effed up. Listen, I'm not, like, at some point we're going to listen, people make mistakes.
Yeah.
But that's not what's happening. This is like every other damn, if it's not even once a week.
Young black men are getting slaughtered out there, and I wanted to kind of.
And there's a white guy that got shot too, like like about 11, 12 days ago, also unarmed. And that video that I sent you, we're gonna show this video in a second to you guys. But there's a video of a white guy coming out of his house, swinging a knife at the cops. I'm talking swinging, and he's doing all these like martial art moves. I'm gonna kill. Threatening them, came out charging, bro. And these cops have a belly club, and they're doing this to him.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna show that video to you guys right now. Like, we're gonna show it to you right now.
Who the fuck do you think you are? You're gonna die! Step back!
So now that you guys have seen that video, now you know what I'm talking about. We won't go on a huge thing about that, but it's so glaring, so glaring.
So I did want to. I'm glad that
you can talk about. Yeah, I've seen it. I just
no. I'm glad that you're here because I might be talking about something that's a little controversial right now.
Yeah.
So that 16-year-old that was killed by the police officer when she was about to stab another person. So, you know, that was not a race thing. I don't think, in my eyes.
No, I don't think that was race. I think he just effed up as far as like the
too fast.
Yeah. So
it was
again,
too fast.
So you guys just saw the video. We showed you the guy swinging the knife at the cops. Obviously, I mean, there's not a whole lot of explanation there. Like that should have been again. And I'll preface this.
That was a good time to shoot. I think.
Yeah, if you're gonna shoot. But that would be one of the times I probably go. I still think, even though that was one of those times I would kind of go, oh, you're charging the cops with a knife. I mean, swinging at them. But still, I still believe that there should, like that cop did on that video where he put on his whole uniform. Mm-hmm. He was irate about the taser mix-up crap.
Yeah.
And he showed his face. He's like, I don't care about how much backlash I get, and I commend that cop for that. I'll remember his name. We'll put it in the description. Thank you for that, sir. By the way, put on his whole uniform and showed they know their taser's facing this way, their guns over here, they're facing opposite way. I just thank you for that, sir, and I appreciate.
I'm sorry that we can't. We're not.
I'll remember his name, but
we're gonna put that video up.
Or we'll just edit the video.
Dominant, not so dominant. Huge weight difference, guys. I don't understand how we can mistake a taser for a gun or a gun for a taser. If you're in the heat of the moment and you do something like that, you shouldn't be doing this job. Because nobody likes a bad cop more than a good cop. I can tell you that straight up. I'm not going to put my life on the line to try and, fix your stupidity and deal with, restoring the peace with my public that I serve just because of your stupid actions. It makes no sense. 99% of our job is communication. You don't got to be quick to pull out a gun or a taser on somebody and think everybody's a threat. Not everybody's a threat. Try talking to them. Get to know them people.
To put the name in. Yeah. But no, thank you for that. And so that video we just saw with the knife. Anyway, with the guy swinging the knife, white dude at the cops. I still think what they should have done, which is the same thing I think should have happened to the young girl who was trying to stab that girl, right? Is a taser first, belly club him. He's just got a knife. Okay? Taser, there's another cop there. You got two tasers that shoot each other. Now you got to belly clubs both of them. You could have taken that guy down without hurting him.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
If he's still trying to go crazy, maybe you pop him in the knee, you break him down.
Definitely
don't
hear what
shoot
you're
the
saying.
Kill. Shoot him in the leg.
I feel like, and you're right, I feel like he probably should have shot for the leg.
Yeah.
But I think that, any one of us can sit here and say that we would do something in that kind of a situation under that immense stress. But I think
that's
it was...
they signed up for.
And
if they train more for those circumstances every single day?
What I'm trying to say is it was happening so fast. I don't know what I would have done in this situation. But here's what I will say. And I will say this with great confidence. That was not a race thing. So it's
girls?
It's very important. It's very important that me as a black person in my black community, we don't bring other things into the mix where it's just not true.
Yeah.
Especially because that's when, the right or the far right, they take those things and they start running with those things.
Like Usain Bolt running.
Yeah.
Like they'll have it on every channel.
Yeah.
They have Candace Owens on there.
Exactly.
There's no racism in America.
So it's very important that we distinguish racism and just lack of judgment.
And I think that was a lack of judgment. The wild thing about that story, right? And we've all seen the video. It was chaotic. The crazy thing about that story is that girl who was stabbing that other girl. Those people came, as far as what I've read, that they were coming to her house and trying to jump her.
Yeah.
So she was really the victim in the sense. She was like trying to defend herself.
Sure.
Again, they have tasers.
Yeah.
Again, I am somewhat conflicted on that one. Right, because she's literally
reaching. It took me like 2
to
weeks to come to this conclusion.
She's literally trying to stab someone.
Yeah.
I get it, But again, you hit her with a taser in the back, belly club the knife out of her hand, then yes, if there's still crazy going on and you need to pull your weapon, leg shot, and
I think that goes back to what you just
but
mentioned
they don't train,
as well.
dude,
It's like there needs to be more training for the police, because what we've seen across the United States in the past couple of weeks or even months or a couple months is just ridiculous. It is getting out of control. It's every single day. Right? And I'll even tell you this. So I went out and purchased like this dash cam for my window, just because my mom's been a little bit concerned with me being out there, which I get it. Like, I'm her baby. But like 2016, I never really had to think about things like that and moving in a different way. And it's just the times that we live in, and it's really, really sad.
It is sad, and like that's not how people should have to go about their day. And when we talk about like, having stricter gun law, everyone loses it. It's like, dude, nobody's taking away anybody's guns. But like I've said before, if you look up the definition of arms, right, it's going to say weapons. Well, if you look up the definitions of weapons, you get all the way to nuclear weapons. So am I allowed to start having tanks, building bombs in my garage? No. So we have to stop pretending like somebody 250 years ago could have thought about drones that fly themselves with missiles.
I think you're making
they had muskets and cannons, bro.
You're making very valid points.
They didn't know what was going to happen.
And I'm so sick of the freedom talk, the rights talk, the whatever talk. In the United States, you don't just get to do and say whatever you want. And I don't know why I don't know why that's become the norm in the United States. If it's harmful to another person, if it causes bodily injury, and it even causes death, then you need to be prosecuted for that.
We're just looking at like what we're willing or what we're okay with, where do we draw lines, right? Like we both have got like, I have no problem with guns. I just have a problem with certain, like again, should I be able to have a minigun, like a saw, like an SAW, something that literally, like, people call them street sweepers. You can just literally like like, no. Where do we draw lines?
Why do we need that? Like, what do we need that
Dude, a shotgun's a great home protection.
You know what I mean?
You don't have to be accurate.
And what really,
has a good spread.
What really pisses me off is I see these people on Facebook posting about their gun rights, and these people didn't even have guns a year or two ago, and all of a sudden they're like these big patriots and blah 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 blah. They never served in the military. They never give a damn about one cop in their lives, but they've gotten behind this fake movement, and they're hiding behind this fake facade of being patriots. Now, no one is trying, like Wes, you just said that. No one is trying to take your guns away. You just don't need a damn bazooka in your house, and you can't sit here and give me that argument. You can't make a valid argument to me about that.
And it's funny when like Jordan Klepper off the Daily Show would go down to he's hilarious. We'd go to a lot of these. I think he almost made every Trump rally. That was kind of his thing that he was doing. And he was asking when like all these people at the rallies about if they were okay with people burning their flags. And the craziest thing was, and I commend the military people that he, because it was almost every one of the people that were actual veterans or current, right, either way, said, I don't like it fully, but I did fight for their right to be able to burn the flag if they choose to. It was all the other idiots, the same ones who are like, oh, I need my AK, all the other dipshits who are like, no, man, it should be illegal to burn the flag. No military experience. And they were using the military. They were going, the military fought for this country. It's like, the funny thing was, dickhead, the last guy who was military said they do have the right to do it. And the Constitution said they do have the right to do it.
And it's always these people that never, like you said, never served, never did anything. And I'm so sick of this fake movement of patriots. Like, I'm the biggest patriot you'll ever know. Like, I have a big-ass American flag in front of my house right now. I love this country, but at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we're not killing ourselves or having
a peaceful society as much as we can.
But have your guns. Have your freaking guns. No one wants to take your guns, but we don't need a bazooka. That's it.
And it goes a lot deeper too. Like we said, we talk about poverty. I mean, almost everywhere you find poverty, you're gonna find crime. So again, when we go back to those whiny little crybaby, extreme wealthy people about not wanting to pay taxes, we got to realize, like, what would that be potentially used for? I don't know, maybe to like go in and rebuild some of our communities, keep people's like in rent, you know, and rent safe, right? So keeping the rent low. We should be able to buy houses way easier. I complain about this all the time. You could go in with hardly any like you've been at McDonald's like 2 months. They'll give you a $30,000 car loan, right?
Sure.
That can be moved and taken wherever you want.
Yeah.
So I could go get a car that's 50 grand, move down to Mexico. They're never gonna get their money.
Right.
So I look at that as like, boy, is that talk about how that should be hard to go buy a car in a sense.
Yeah.
A house, this is not getting moved.
Right.
They should be easy to buy, right? Condos, any kind of property that can't be moved should be easy to buy. Should be easy.
I think
should be damn near handing them out.
I think
like,
that housing
but why
and
don't
education should be one of the easiest things to access here in the United States. And those two things that you just mentioned are the hardest things to access.
And why?
It's about the money, about the Benjamins.
It's about keeping people the fuck down.
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
It's about people. Exactly. So it's about keeping people in.
It's
their
a simple
lane.
ass answer. Like, I mean, flat out, in my opinion, it's a simple answer. It's about making sure as they say, the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. It is letting people know that our monarchy that we have here, because we can laugh and joke about the United Kingdom. We have a monarchy too. It's the same damn families running everything. It's extreme minority controlling the gigantic majority. If you look at the definitions of that, that's what a dictatorship is. That's what a dictatorship is.
Yeah.
The extreme minority controlling the gigantic majority. You look up democracy, and it's literally defined as the control of a group or organization by the majority of its members. I know that thing verbatim. That is exactly what it will say if you look it up.
Yeah.
And you think about that. The control of a group or an
it's
organization.
Never been us. I don't think that
majority.
we've ever. I don't think we've ever participated in a real democracy ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Majority.
It's always about the rich staying richer and the poor staying poor.
100%.
And I think about we're almost out of time here, but I want to talk about Colorado and the gentrification and all of that stuff. So I had an opportunity to kind of ride through Aurora a couple days ago, and it's really sad. It's really sad. So it's like the old projects, right, are now all of these apartment buildings in which one of them, we manage. Unfortunately, but where did those people go?
Yeah, they push them out.
Where did they go? Are they those people, those same people that are on the highway that you just drove on, that are in those tents?
Yeah.
Those are the things, and I need to wake the fuck up, dude, because I'm starting to get sick and tired of myself burying my eyes when things around me are changing drastically. I want to help, because even in my own state that I've lived in my entire life, I can see the BS going on, dude.
And what we need to be doing, like I said, was we need to take this money specifically from capital gains, which is what Biden. I'm not gonna lie, man. I did not vote for Biden. I've said that many times. I wrote in the last 3 elections. Obviously through both through Trump, of course. And then the second term of Obama. I just was really upset that he became very centralized, and it is what it is. I was believing every bit of. And he did try. I don't know if he got threatened. I have no idea. Because it was like a pivot. But it is what it is. Point is that I'm surprised at some of the stuff that Biden's doing. It's actually and surprised in a good way. I've been kind of like, holy shit. He's been really, it's surprising me. This whole building he's trying to put forth about community college being
Here's the thing with
free,
Biden,
and then
he's doing his first term. I don't think he's going to run again for a second term.
Throw the hell
and it's just who gives a shit, right? If they don't like me, they don't like me. I don't care. I'm going to do what I'm
live
going
my
to do.
day every day like that.
Me too. I'm going to do what's right. You know what I mean? I don't care if I get reelected or not. And he doesn't. He genuinely does not care.
That's how I work my entire day. I'm just whatever.
So if you guys know Wes, you know that he's kind of a but that's what we love you.
Yeah, I mean,
you're in your own. Yeah, you're in your own world.
Because
I wish I could be more like that.
That dude,
I just can't.
create your lanes, man. It's tough, but no, to be unreal, Biden, man, his bill where he's trying to get the capital gains tax, where we're going to utilize that for community colleges being free, which is one of the first things I said.
Sure.
It's almost my number one. It was 1A. Medicare for all was 1B. getting at least it's a start. I want all state schools, all public schools to be free, but I'll take community college. It's something. We got to start somewhere. But then like taxing them to build those communities, because what they should have done, and like you said, we've seen it all. I was born and raised here like you. What they should have done is said, hey, we're going to rebuild these areas. We're going to keep the people in there's rents low. We'll use the tax money to cover. So I understand the independent business, like what you do, right? I understand the apartment or that business where their property management business, whatever, that they want to make their money. Okay, fine. That person was paying $900. Maybe we tell them, can you afford $1,000? Yeah. They go, you know what? I think I can do $1,000. Okay, because you're gonna get a brand new place, right? Like all redone. The whole area's been redone. Maybe you're gonna raise their rent $100 or something like that. Sure. And then we use the tax to subsidize that apartment complex to cover what they wanted for it. And that's, so if they wanted $2,200, we'll pay $1,200.
That's kind of what we do too. But on the other end too is like, okay, sometimes we give these people a break. Right? Yeah. We let them in at a lower rent in these nice buildings, and they destroy them. You know what I mean? It's just like, come on.
But I think that's all part of like, again, we're gonna have a little bit of that. But if we continue to like build up people and continue to make sure the job, the school, right? Yeah. So we can start getting everybody who is you don't know where people started. We've used this analogy before, man. Like, if somebody started in the depths of the ocean at the base of Mount Mauna Kea in Hawaii, there's 7,000 meters below the earth, and they below the sea level. Excuse me, below Earth. Well, technically in a sense, but if they start at sea level, they're already 7,000 meters above somebody. They start up. You just don't know where people started, and we have too big of a tendency to like I said before, where we're driving by people and we just assume like, oh, they're a bum, they don't care. You don't know, you have no idea what happened.
You don't know what they've gone
Why not get them to be productive members of society?
Be productive members of society. And we are Unfiltered Idiots, and thank you guys so much for chatting with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Unfiltered Idiots Podcast, and on Facebook, Unfiltered Idiots Podcast. Yeah. Twitter,
all the socials,
UF Idiots, and UF Idiots for Twitter, and Instagram is Unfiltered_Idiots IG. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so, man.
Where can they email us at?
Email us, you can email us at metro@unfilteredidiots.com or Kenny, K Newell at unfilteredidiots.com. And like I said, guys, be productive members of society. Look out for episode 2 coming. And pick your fellow man, your fellow woman up. Pick your fellow
man, your fellow American up.
Think about what you can do to pick somebody up instead of knocking them the F down.
Yeah, talk to y'all
later.
Bye.
We out.
Look me up on Google, search the classics, you crazy bass. Hold me up and pull me down. It's a battle royale in the eye of the storm. Drowning in the shallows when the path is getting narrow. I'ma ride it out on this broken arrow. Fuck it. Hold me up.